when it doesn't touch on democracy and freedom, I think the UN often manages with failures, but to deal with some of those topics. It did manage to distribute more vaccines during the pandemic, right? Like, a lot of people are alive thanks to it. And it's saving lives with food programs every single day, almost eradicated polio. I can go on the list of successes. I think the UN is doing very well on this. What I think it profoundly sucks at is freedom. And we see it with Ukraine, we see it with Palestine, we see it with all of the struggles I mentioned. Due to its structure, due to 5 countries being able to veto actions, we see it. So again, yesterday actually in Milan, the Atlas team projected on the EU headquarters a picture of Putin giving a baby bottle to a European baby. It's quite striking because in 2024, Europe bought more than ever before record levels of natural liquefied gas from Russia. More than ever before. We are directly financing the war efforts of Russia in Ukraine. It's insane. We're supposed to have sanctions, we're supposed to have targeted sanctions, and there are so many loopholes that we are directly financing war, planes, bombs, kidnappings, etc. Right? It is insane. So, I think on this, the UN fundamentally failed to impose enough targeted sanctions, enough embargoes on Russia so that it doesn't have the possibility to invade and occupy Ukraine from 2014 onwards. I think the same goes with Palestine. Italy is the 3rd biggest provider of weapons to Israel. And the US is the first one, Germany is the second one. We have failed to impose a total arms embargo, a full embargo, and targeted sanctions, boycotts, divestments until the end of apartheid, occupation, and war on Gaza, on the West Bank. And that for me is the purpose of the UN, it's to ensure peace and security. We do not live in a peaceful and nor a secure world. So this is the problem. The UN sucks at dealing with freedom. It's due to its makeup. How do we ensure that we tackle freedom adequately and systematically? So how do we build a world where we don't have to go and beg for the big powers to suddenly care if it's not in their economic interest or if it's with their allies? For me, this is the question of what we actually need to tackle. How do we deal with freedom struggles? How do we support them? How do we stop war crimes, crimes against humanity, apartheid, occupation, every single time together? Because like it's been said, in unity I think we have strength and we can actually do it. I'll conclude with 3 quick ideas. One of them is to do it within institutions. So to start building within institutions, within the United Nations, for example, and outside, a democracy caucus. So take South Africa, take Kenya, take India, take Brazil, take European countries, bring them together and say, okay, we are actually going to coordinate and commit that every time this happens, we have to take some things in this list of actions. Sanctions, arms embargoes, boycotts, etc. We have to. Otherwise, we are kicked out and we no longer have access to this coalition. And then to make it a bit stronger and a bit sexier, because you need to make democracy sexy for people to want to stay in it, you add a democracy fund, right? Countries finance, support democracies in transitions and democracies, and you make it also good for the countries inside. Free movement, trade incentives. You ensure that democracies can actually get stronger together this way. And this way, in the UN, they will try, and outside of the UN, to push for sanctions, for embargoes, for support in a systemic manner. That's one idea. Another idea is you take it out, and I think Cahen can actually take the song afterwards with the idea of the World Liberty Congress, and I'll let you explain how it would actually work, right? And the third idea is you use existing coalitions like the European Union, the African Union, and others to try to push forward this idea. But again, I think the problem is how do we do so without being hypocrites? How are we not complicit in so many struggles? How do we stop it and build something new for people to have faith in those institutions?